Hey, what is up everyone? So Season 18 is finally here, and like we do with every monthly update, we're going to go through the patch notes and talk about everything you need to know about the December monthly update for Sea of Thieves. So the first biggest thing for this update is the new Eternal Guard, which is a brand new type of enemy in the game, probably the most unique thing we've gotten in the game for years now. And it comes with its own special abilities like being able to cloak itself, throw poison bombs down, and use a blowpipe and hunting spear. I made a whole video talking in depth about it and how to fight it and all that kind of stuff, so definitely go check that out. But when you defeat the Eternal Guard, you get a key for the Sanctuaries of the Banished. These are new vaults within the Devil's Roar, and they can be found on Cinder Inlet, Flame's End, and Brimstone Rock. And taking the key there will allow you to unlock a bunch of new ancient treasures that have been added to the game. One of those treasures that you can get there is the Trident of the Banished, which is a new reskin of the Trident that we've had before in the game for a while now. This new Trident is a bit more powerful and inflicts a poison effect when it hits an enemy. Moving on, we've had some changes to the Devil's Roar for Season 18, so cashing in loot within the Devil's Roar during Season 18 will offer boosted gold and reputation for each of the different trading company representatives. There's also going to be an increased spawn rate of the Chest of Rage across the Devil's Roar during Season 18, so you can keep an eye out for that. And across the Devil's Roar there has been environmental hazards that have been rebalanced to reduce frustration when adventuring. So still keep an eye out for earthquakes and volcanic eruptions and stuff, but it should be a little bit reduced from when you previously have entered the Devil's Roar. And then finally, the last change for the Devil's Roar is that Morrow's Peak Outpost now is a potential starting location for crews when they begin a session in the game. The Smugglers League has also got an update with their introduction last season, and they added hideouts across the Sea of Thieves regions. One area was left out, which is the Devil's Roar. So with this update, we have 2 new smuggler hideouts within the Devil's Roar, and the Smuggler's Route 1 voyage that was introduced last season has now been moved to these 2 new hideouts. There's been a bunch of sandbox balancing changes for this update, so with Season 17 drawing to a close, the Smuggler's influence on the seas has waned and a variety of emergent discoveries have returned to their pre-Season 17 levels. So the frequency of shipwreck discoveries has been increased, and there is now an equal chance of finding a regular shipwreck versus a smuggler shipwreck. One of the best changes probably for this update is now rowboats will have an equal chance of being any of the different types of rowboats. So it's not just going to be those Reaper rowboats that we've had all Season 17. I'm very happy about this because I didn't really like those rowboats too much, and I've been looking forward to getting the regular rowboats back into the game. Also, ambushes by black powder wielding skeletons and the presence of black powder barrels washing up in smuggler caches has now been significantly reduced. Also, washed up messages in a bottle on the shores now provide a range of different activities and will no longer just provide a smuggler's run voyage. Now, that's another great change because I think a lot of people didn't really care about those too much. And then finally, we have skeleton ships have slowed their stockpile of Smuggler League treasure, and crews will now find a more balanced horde on board. This is the only one that I found a little bit disappointing because I actually did like having the black powder barrels on the skeleton ships. They were a lot of fun to just go and run up and board them and then just blow them up. And now we're going to be back to just the regular way of sinking them, which is throwing a bunch of cannonballs at them. Moving on, now that we're entering Act 1 of Season 18, there are a bunch of new accommodations that have been added to the Secrets of the Banished Reputation tab, and completing these will unlock different cosmetics like the new weapons for the Forsaken Ashes set, Mark of the Widow Tattoo, Chest of Banished Tribute Disguise, which that's one that I'm very excited about because I'm happy that they're continuing to add more disguises to the game. And then also the Effigy of Rage trinket, which is like a little tiny chest of rage. There's also some new smuggler clothing set items with the Saltbones hook and Laughing Fox Lucia mask. There's also time limited challenges for this month for Act 1, where you can find that in the season menu tab, and you can unlock a dark discovery painting once completed. With this new season, there's also a new Season 18 Season Pass, as well as a Plunder Pass. I made 2 new videos talking about those 2, so I'll leave those for you to check out. Then we also have some new Emissary Ledger rewards for this season. So the Guild Emissaries got the Eternal Ebb and Flow painting, the Banished Finery Ornament, and the Guild of Dark Banishment title to the guilds who represent them well and perform proudly in the ledgers. The Hunter's Call also got some updates to their Emissary Ledger, now offering the Living Depths flag, sail, and capstan, along with the Assailant of Ancient Quarry title. The Chest of Fortune has moved back to the Fort of Fortune, no longer being in the Reaper forts anymore, and now allows crews to get to the next grade of the Fortune's Favor accommodations, which unlock the Regal Fortune Fishing Rod, Shovel, Pocket Watch, Tankard, and Speaking Trumpet. The next grade for the Reaper Chest and Reaper Bounties has also been increased, and now unlocks the Regal Fortune Hurdy-Gurdy and Concertina. Moving on to some gameplay improvements, we have migrating crews from failed encounters. So crews engaged with the same rival repeatedly will now find that they have been migrated away to a new server after repeatedly getting sunk. The losing to the same rival 3 times within a 1 hour and 45-minute period of time will cause the losing crew to be migrated. However, should the losing crew turn the tide and sink their rival, this will reset the encounter. So essentially you have to lose 3 times and not have synced the other crew. I'm not exactly sure how this will affect for someone like me that might, purposely sink my ship and then go and swim and tuck on the island or tuck on someone's ship. I don't know if that will count negatively against you, but something to be considered. This rule set will not affect crews taking part in encounters with the Burning Blade, and crews engaging with the Skull of Siren Song will need to be actively participating in the voyage to remain exempt. So that might be a way to get around it. Not sure how exactly they're going to track to see if you're actively participating in the voyage. We also have reducing emergent encounters during naval battles. So crews engaging with rivals in naval combat will find that ambushes from skeleton ships and megalodons have now been reduced. While these encounters are still unpredictable and can still occur, they will now be less likely to happen when you're fighting another crew on the seas. This is a great change because I've been tired of the times where we have a skeleton ship and a megalodon all fighting us while we're trying to sink another ship, and it just becomes a kind of big mess over there. So this should be definitely helpful. I'm interested to see if this actually does make naval combat more fun. Performance improvements. This update includes further system level optimizations to the CPU performance across the whole experience, so this should help with loading behind the scenes, and the aim of this change is to provide a smoother frame rate when approaching islands, ships, and other players. Improvements have also been made to game performance when digging up items in the world to improve client frame rates. So good changes all around there. Moving on, the Pirate Emporium has a bunch of new stuff that you can get, but the main thing that you should be concerned about is this month's free emote, which is the Humble Gift emote. So make sure to go grab that before next month's update. Then moving on to the Outpost cosmetics, we have some new Outpost stuff with the Pale Resolute Hull, Sail, and Flag. I'm really hoping that we get rid of these just color default sets that we've been getting into the shipwright shops for the past several months of Outpost cosmetic updates. I just think they're really boring. The Outpost weaponsmiths now also offer weapons from the Regal Hound set, so you can check those out. And then the legacy items from Season 11, such as the beloved Fog Piercer Frog Lantern, as well as the Medusa hair and some other stuff from Season 11, can now be found in the Outpost shops. Another big change, which I did talk more in depth about my thoughts on it in the Plunder Pass video, is the new Season Overview menu. So the Plunder Pass and the events have now been moved over into the Season menu, and now all kind of make one nice central UI for the season. So definitely a better change than what we had previously. I still think there's some work that they could do, but it is a really nice UI change. Moving on, we have some events coming up, like the Orb returning, which I was not expecting to come back this year, but it's really exciting that it is. That will be back December 12th through the 14th, so this weekend. So I'll be making videos if there's anything interesting that comes out of it, so keep an eye out on the channel for that. Holiday Halls and Legends of Giving is going to be an event that involves Pirate Legends this year, and also partners and affiliate alliance leaders and deckhands that will be giving out gifts to all the pirates that they meet. So I'll be making a video probably next week talking about that, so keep an eye out for that. And then Supporter Streamer is happening December 15th through January 2nd, and this allows you to get different cosmetics if you gift subscriptions on Twitch for a particular streamer. Finally, there's been a bunch of bug fixes, nothing that really stands out too much for me in these patch notes, but there was always a range of bug fixes that we usually get. But with that, that covers everything you need to know about this month's monthly update. Let me know in the comments below what are you most excited for with today's update, and if you enjoyed this video, it'd be great if you have to like and subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Bye y'all.